I look distracted today, because I spent all day looking for my bejesus. Do you know why? I got it scared out of me this morning, Jamie.
Say that.
I
I
got
watched the trailer and that was enough for
my
me.
God.
Films with Eclipse Dine-In Cinemas Bundoran. Now serving pizza, hot dogs, ice cream, and more to your seat. Find out more at Eclipse Cinemas.
It is time to join our man at the cinema. And I tell you, you're recovering from an absolutely busy week, have you? Yeah, it's been mental up there. I think you've lost about 2 stone.
Yeah, well, still a long way to go, unfortunately, as my doctors tell me. But yeah, it really has. And it's funny, all through August, because traditionally holiday time, probably July is busier. Last year, of course, we had Barbie and Oppenheimer, all that sort of shenanigans. But each week we'd be going, well, this will be the end of it. We're coming close. Yeah, this will be the end of it. And last Tuesday again, it was Crazy Tuesday. It was really busy. But it's not just any of the shows, all the shows and things like. So it ends with us. We say it every week, but it's been a phenomenon. It's been so busy and so many people.
Legs and more legs.
Yeah. And also Kneecap, and probably the fact that it was released in England, Scotland, and Wales last week, it gets another shot of advertising, and a small movie like that, and we're going to be talking about one of those later, really thrives in that publicity. Everyone knows about Deadpool and the big Hollywood movies, but those, any bit of fuss really gives them a push. So all these people, so last Tuesday, there's 40 people at Kneecap. It's week 3 for a small Irish movie. That's great. So it hasn't stopped. Now, school is back, and we were kind of going, right, this will quieten down now. And lo and behold, the Irish Film Board announced, what do we have next Saturday, Jamie? It's only National Cinema Day.
National Cinema Day. And all tickets are
€5 only. And, and people go, oh, that's great. But, I want to go to the movie at 8:00, and you have to go, that's €5. And then you go, but no, I mean the director's lounge. And you go, yeah, it's €5. Everything is €5. And people go, yeah, but the catch is that you have to pay a boat. And you go, no, it's €5. No. The catch is it's going to be really popular. And loads of people come out. You might remember this time last year, we did a live broadcast from it because it was 10 years. Now, it was actually a couple of weeks away from now, because they don't do it exactly the same time every year. Well, I say every year. This is year 2. They're starting off. But it's really great. And look, it's a great thing at the end of, especially a summer like this, where lots of people, especially if they stayed at home, probably had to spend a lot of money entertaining people because the weather has been so lousy. So a little bit of a fill up at the end of the season where everyone can come for cheap and maybe catch up on that movie that they were going, I'd like to see that, but I don't know if I want to pay full, I don't know if I €12 want to see this one. They have a choice. But one of the things I have to say, Seamie, at first, I was mildly disappointed by the schedule, because I was going, we don't have loads of new movies, right? But the thing is, Kneecap, it ends with us, Deadpool, still packing in the houses. So it's no surprise they're still there. But I was going, there's one small Irish movie I haven't heard much about. Well, I suppose it's something. At least that'll be there, an Irish movie that people can see for a $5. And I thought, well, it'll probably be not a whole lot. I'll watch it today and I'll tell Seamie all about it. And before we play the clip,
it's a bit of an oddity, is it?
If I look distracted today, because I spent all day looking for my bejesus. Do you know why? I got it scared out of me this morning, Jamie.
Say that. I watched the trailer and that was enough for me.
God, I watched the trailer and I went, yeah, that'll be all the scary bits. Holy smokes is all I have to say. Look, play the clip, whatever. And there's nothing mood in the clip, but you might get a sense of the atmosphere. Have a go.
Could you open the door?
What do you want?
You're in trouble.
What?
Would you just open the door? I am telling you that there is someone in there with you.
Scaring the bejesus out of me. That's only the trailer.
And it genuinely is really creepy. In a way, and I'm not mad on horror, but this has really dragged me in. And there's a woman called Caroline Bracken who has been on Irish TV in small parts in Irish movies. I'm not familiar with her. She did look familiar when I saw on the screen, but I wouldn't have been able to name stuff she was in before. And she plays twin sisters, one of whom is blind and has seems to have
Oh,
some
right.
psychic powers, and then the other one, as you can hear, was involved in a dubious thing. And they live, herself and the husband live in this farmhouse out in the country, and this fella knocks up at the door and says, "You've got to let me in. I have to help you. Somebody in the house, I can see them." And I tell you, beware any poor old Girl Scouts trying to sell lines around here in Bundoran this weekend, because I am answering the door to no flipper. I'm telling you that, right? After this movie, it is genuinely creepy in the best way, in that there's kind of, you go, oh, that would never happen. But then they kind of give you a reason. You go, maybe that could happen. And like the husband is the doctor in a mental asylum in the country, and the twin sister deals in haunted oddities, but yet the other sister is very down to earth and is going, sure, it's all a load of nonsense. And you've all of these different tales. I'd say they made it on a really low budget, but because of the small cast and because of the brilliant surroundings in this old farmhouse that they're doing up, and because they're doing it up, they don't have any power yet. So it's all torchlight and candlelight. It's so clever. You know, you couldn't have made it any better for $100 million, because the atmosphere is there. The cheap budget, I think, probably suits them, because they're, you know, when you don't have money to spend on special effects, you spend it on storyline and good actors. And that's what they have done. And all through it, there's this wooden doll, right? This wooden doll that sits at the end of, and I was genuinely creeped out. And I was watching it about 9 a.m. this morning, right?
Good
and
job. Wasn't mine last
I knew
night.
one of the staff members was coming in to turn on all the machines about 10. And I said, if she walks in the middle of this and I'm not paying, she will scare the life out of me. I was thinking of texting her going, only if I'd ever lift up the phone, I was going, I have to say, please leave me alone. Don't come, don't startle me. Don't go upstairs on the roof. I can't cope with any sounds. Because, you know, the cinema isn't creepy, but the cinema on its own makes a few noises, you know, when you're sitting there and you're on. I really enjoy this. And yes, of course, you know, when it's an Irish movie, a small Irish movie, I always like it that bit more. But you see the brilliance, the work that's gone into this director, whose name escapes me at the moment. I wrote it down here somewhere, but it's going to go on to big things.
Damien McCarthy.
I knew, yeah, really clever. I would say all the big studios are going to be watching this and going, if you can do that on a shoestring, what could you do with elsewhere? It's really good, really clever. Loads of folklore, loads of Irish setting, and just good actors making you believe. And of course, Irish storytelling tradition is all about banshees and pukas and stuff like that. Like, it's in our blood, it's in our storytelling. And for some reason, this works for me in the way that Friday the 13th, always a serial killer hunting kids at a summer camp, never work for me. This I kind of got into and believed. I loved it. And look, maybe you're thinking, I still don't know, Irish movie, what the budget? It's a $5 on Saturday. Go and see it for a $5. If ever you were going to spend it, it will be worth your while. And what's more, you'll get your friends to come back next week when it's back to full price. I thought it was really good. I loved it.
It's brilliant. And it's Oddity. It's now showing.
It's showing from tomorrow.
From tomorrow. It's now Oddity. If you like a really scary movie, well, you described it really well.
And I have to say, Wildcard, who are distributing it and have some local connections up here, they've that and Kneecap at the moment, which is brilliant for Irish movies. It's great to see it. Yeah.
Great. Now the Amazing Spider-Man is back.
Yeah, so the
saga continues.
Yeah, we're still doing the Spider-Man thing, and this was really good. I remember watching this in the cinema at the time and doing the review on the radio with Shane, and remember being quite disappointed when it didn't go on further, because your man was probably getting a bit too old to be a convincing Peter Parker anymore, Andrew Garfield, because there's a big twist in this one, and really famous in Spider-Man lore if you're into the comics, and it was really well done. And it's back again. Now, as it turns out, he was to reappear again, because from next week, we're going into the young fella, Tom Holland, doing them all. But it's really, really good. And there's loads of little people who, as we say every week, are mad into Spider-Man, and they've never seen them in the big movies. And they've loads of chances. You know, that's shown on Saturday as well for a $5. There's loads of chances to see it for the budget thing. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Okay. Right. It must be horror weekend, because you're bringing back Mr. Monday. Long legs.
Yeah, and the one I didn't see, and this one is horror in another way, in sort of the Silence the Lamb style of a horror movie. And this is one of the ones. It's one of the about 4 movies this year that kind of caught the cinema industry out. And I tell you why it caught it out. TikTok. they were promoting on TikTok, and lots of young people who went to see it and really enjoyed it were talking about it on TikTok. So the cinema business, I think all business really, hasn't caught up with TikTok. And I'm an old fella, sure, I don't know anything about it. But all of these crowds of like 19, 20-year-olds were turning up at this movie that kind of people hadn't heard of beforehand. And again, it's Silence of the Lambs is a good example of it's this woman hunted this serial killer. Nicolas Cage is perhaps the serial killer called Longlegs. It's very weird, odd, and creepy. It's good, it is good fun. It won't be for everyone. But again, this one's not on National Cinema Day, but you can still see it for a $5 next Monday.
Okay. Now we were telling you about National Cinema Day, Saturday. All movies, €5. I can't believe that. That's good. Just going to tell people, would you come to the cinema early?
Yeah.
That is probably the best thing.
I feel like a PSA for people in the Northwest, because when we do these things, and we do them a lot on social media up at Eclipse Cinemas Bundoran, and say, could you book online if you can, or give us a ring and we hold the tickets for you? Could you come 15 minutes early? And people hear you and go, yeah, but they don't mean me. Like that doesn't apply to me. I go there all the time. And really, as it is, look, we're going to serve everyone. We're going to get everyone in. But we like no stress. This is our thing. The whole reason to come to the cinema in 2024 is to escape the stressful world, right? We don't want anyone standing in the queue going, oh, Jesus, it's going to be starting. Give yourself a couple of minutes. Let us look after you properly.
I said it to you. I went up the other evening and I was early. I had a bite to eat and I was so relaxed when I went into the cinema. It was so enjoyable just because. And I would be a kind of last minute guy as well. And you kind of said, no, don't do that, Jamie. You need to come up a little earlier and enjoy it. And you do. And you really do enjoy it.
Yeah. And I know for all that, lots of other people love getting the pizza delivered to them on the screen. You're more have the pizza in the cafe beforehand and then go in. I suppose you need the two hands for the wine. And you went in and you watched Pulp Fiction.
I watched Pulp Fiction.
And it held up
I
for you,
so enjoyed my night in the cinema. It brought everything back to me. And I've seen the film numerous times.
Yeah.
But it's still years since I watched it. But to see it on the big screen, the soundtrack, unbelievable. John Travolta. Come on, Quentin Tarantino. The whole thing. It just all works.
I was going to say never better. Possibly Jackie Brown might be slightly better, but it's just height of their game. And I was surprised. I thought maybe a bit dated, but of course, any of the controversial stuff that's still in it, that was controversial 30 years ago too. Maybe 12-year-olds will be watching it going, you couldn't say that. You could say that then. And I go, no, you couldn't say that then either. Everyone was shocked at the time too.
I was talking to somebody who had a younger person who went to it and who hadn't seen it. I'm talking about someone around 20 or whatever. And they couldn't believe how good this film was. And they'd never heard of it. So that's it. There's a complete new audience out there for it. A quick one on Beetlejuice. It's coming, isn't it?
They're expecting it to be really big. It's opening next Friday. It's going to be the only movie next Friday because everyone is staying away. It's the movie for September, really. I have never seen Beetlejuice until last week. I realized I had to watch the original. I don't know how I didn't watch it. It's really good. This is not news to anyone else, is it? So really look forward. We'll be talking about the sequel next week. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Look, that's Collie on movies. Till next week, next Thursday. Enjoy the movies.
Saturday night at the movies. Who cares what picture you see?
When you're hugging with your baby in the last row.